Welcome to Taking It to the Nub. And tonight, we have a very special guest. Some of you know him as Tommy Romola. Others know him as Big Time Tommy. And some may not even know. But tonight, you're going to learn a lot about Big Time Tommy. We're going to get into some of his adventures he's been involved in. Big Time Tommy's been a movie star. Big Time Tommy's been doing wine. Big Time Tommy's doing cigars. Big Time Tommy is an Instagram sensation over the last couple of years. So tonight, I'm having also a special guest that's going to co-host with me. You know him as Steve from Frontline Cigars. Let me bring Steve in. Hi, buddy. How you doing?
Good, Jimmy. How are you tonight?
Good. You ready for this?
I am absolutely stoked.
It's going to be a fun show. I can assure everybody this is going to be one of the best we've had. I'm sure it'll be good. I know Tommy is setting himself up right now in one of his favorite lounges on Long Island. And for those that may or may not know Steve is from Frontline Cigars, one of my premier sponsors. He's based out of Chicagoland. You hear talk about him all the time on the advertisement section. So Tommy's coming in from Long Island, and of course, I'm coming in from Florida. I'm going to be bringing in Big Time Tommy right now, the big man himself, live. Tommy, how are you?
Oh, shit, I was just tagging everybody. What's up, Jimmy? What's up, Jimmy? You caught me.
It's okay. Tag away.
All right, I tagged some people.
Good.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm glad you could make the show.
Thank you for having me on the show.
You know, we had a little conversation the other week, getting ready for the show, and you gave me some background. But one of the things I didn't ask you, and I think it's important for everybody to know, especially those that may not know who Tommy Romola is or who Big Time Tommy is, take it back a little. Who is Tommy Romola?
Well, first off, I'm just a regular guy. Forget all that celebrity status. Forget all about this, that, and the other thing. I'm just a regular guy that loves my family, that hangs out with my friends, and wants to do nothing but laugh, smile, and have fun. Hang out in cigar lounges, hang out on lawn chairs outside, listen to my old school music, smoke a cigar, and just have a good time. That's, to me, what life's about.
And you grew up in what part of New York?
I was born in the Bronx. I was taken to Long Island when I was about 5.5 years old. Started off and lived in Long Island my whole entire life, from then till now.
There you go. I grew up in New Hyde Park till I was about 18. I moved to Brooklyn, and then I moved to Boston for 3 years, and I've been in Florida ever since.
Now, I heard you say something about Elmont earlier. You said, or yesterday, that's where your wife came from?
No, my ex-wife.
My 3 cousins just came in. Anthony, Michael, and Salvatore. Santo, I'm sorry.
It's okay, buddy. So yeah, no, my ex-wife was from Elmont, New York. I had a girlfriend from Elmont, New York when I was in high school. So Elmont holds a very near and dear place in my heart. A lot of big Italian enclave in Elmont.
My very favorite hero on Long Island is over on Meacham Avenue in Elmont at Guido's Deli.
Oh, well, we're going to get into some more of that in a moment. And there's
Thanks.
some lightning round questions for you about just those type of questions.
Wow, lightning round. Oh.
All right.
I feel like I'm on the Michael K show on center stage when he does those 5 questions at the end.
You run the Boston Jimmy Taking It to the Nub show here.
I'm very, very humbled for you to have me on your show. Thank you.
We are equally humbled to have you. Thank you. All right. So Instagram sensation. Before we get into that, I'm going to ask you this. I'm going to put you on the spot. What's your thought of the day?
My thought of the day is just positivity. Everybody needs to be positive, and anything negative in life, you need to just get rid of, eliminate the negative and embrace the positive. There's too many things in life, like breathing, and just family and friends to be negative. I know that we're going through hard times right now, but look for a more positive light. Make today better than yesterday. I mean, the best advice that I could give. Just people need to be more positive in this world because there's so many people that are negative that don't need to be negative, and they tend to try to bring other people down because misery loves company, and you need to get those people and lift them up.
There you go. So if those that don't know Tommie's thought of the day, you go on his Instagram under Big Time Tommy, and you will see every day he's got these thoughts of the day, really short clips, very positive messages all the time. You coined this thing called old school, and this whole old school for life, doing all this freestyle. What did you mean when you say old school?
Old school to me
is
goes back to maybe like to the era that I grew up in, the 80s, the early 90s, to where that was the meat of me growing up. And part of being old school is back to simpler times to where people had more respect. There was more loyalty. To me, loyalty is very big. Respect is very big. Today, there's so many people that don't respect others, and there's so many people that say that they're your friend, but yet talk behind your back. They don't embrace you going forward. They want to hold you down or not see you achieve things. And a loyal friend wants you to do better. Congratulates you when you get there, because I am so happy for my friends when they do big things, when they get big events, when they do, achieve anything. I'm so happy for them. Like, I always want the best for everybody that I'm around. And I'm so happy when people do achieve their goals. You asked me about the music.
Yeah.
My genre of music is freestyle music from 1982 to 1992. And I feel as though that's the music that, even though I love, and you can't tell by looking at me, I love the 80s hair bands like Motley Crue, Bon Jovi, Def Leppard, Skid Row, Cinderella, and the list goes on. I am a diehard freestyle fan, and I love freestyle. And I say freestyle forever freestyle. George Lamond, Cover Girls, Lucas Prada, Linnea, TKA, Judy Torres, Cynthia, Stevie B. So when I think of being happy, I have my music on, and I listen to my freestyle music all day long.
So we're going to get into that in a second, because I think Steve's going to have a question for you about that. But before Steve asks his question, let's just break a little more ice here. What are we smoking and drinking tonight? Go ahead.
Well,
you're the guest.
That's a good question, and I saved this for you. Right now, I'm going to let everybody out there that is watching, and everybody that's going to watch, you are the first person to find out with everybody else live that I teamed up with Asylum 13 Cigars.
Boom.
Asylum 13 is the #1 big ring gauge cigar company in the entire world. There is a Big Time Tommy cigar going to be released within the next week or two. Right now, it's a little bit slow because there was just 2 big hurricanes over in Nicaragua. So God bless everybody over there in Nicaragua. And I completed the band that's going to go on my cigar. I went over it with one of their guys that does all their promotions. And I want to show you that this is a 70 ring gauge,
Wow.
7-inch Big Time Tommy edition cigar. And this is what the cigar is going to look like. This is going to be a tissue that their regular Asylum 13s, the tissue goes to about right here. I've got 3/4 of the cigar with the tissue on the bottom. It's got my catchphrase, take it easy.
It is.
We've got I picked these colors. You notice the pinstripes, right? So We've got Asylum 13 with their skulls that they have with their, their logo, Asylum 13. And then we got my Big Time Tommy right here we go. And old school for life, because I'm all about the old school. And if you see, I've got my signature crown on it because I am the king of old school.
Beautiful.
And these cigars will be all over the entire United States. Asylum 13.
One Vitola, one size.
One size, because this is about what I smoke. Asylum 13 came to me and says, hey, I see that you do our videos. I see that in every video you have what looks like an Asylum 13 cigar. They wanted to know why I took their label off the cigar. And I told them, because I was waiting for this phone call right now. So the actual blend is not the same blend that Asylum 13 has with their current 7x70. The blend on my cigar, which I picked, I'm gonna read it to you, just so I get it right. The blend for the Big Time Tommy consists of, now, this is their wording, but I did pick this blend out, is a Nicaraguan Habano wrapper that's enveloping a full-bodied blend of Nicaraguan and American Connecticut broadleaf, which creates a full-bodied experience for even the most seasoned smoker.
Nice.
Is that unfucking believable?
Are you smoking that right now? What are you smoking?
I have right now only 2 of my cigars that they sent me, and I haven't actually started smoking my cigars because I don't want to burn them out and lose, my label. So right now, I'm actually smoking one of the old Asylum 13s, which is their blend. That's why there's no label on here. But this is actually one of my cigars with my labels on it. The tissue was taken off, but this is what it is right here.
All right.
As far as what do I drink, I teamed up together with a wine company called Good Fucking Wine, which could be found on goodfuckingwines.com. And this is a red blend, which is a very, very delicious wine. And I know that you guys, thank you very much for all your support. I know that you've been drinking it, and you said with my autograph on the bottom. Thank you very much.
Let's take a swig.
Table wine.
Salud. Salud.
What's up, Steve? How are
Good
you?
fucking wine. All right. So I am actually smoking the 6x60 Lunatic Torch today. Big ring.
Now, I've smoked the Lunatic. That's a great cigar. But I've never smoked the Porch before.
This is a very nice cigar. Of course, I'm pairing it with some good fucking wine. Steve?
Is that a full cigar?
Yeah.
I have the 5x60. It's the Wild Hog. It's made by a friend of mine. He's got a factory in Nicaragua. So we do carry them. It's, like I said, a 5x70. This isn't my normal go-to cigar. I like a Robusto or a Toro. But today for you, Tommy, I'm smoking a big guy.
There we go.
And
I know yesterday, Steve, that you said that you couldn't smoke those big ring gauge cigars.
doing it for you today. And I'm drinking.
You're stepping up to the big.
Salud.
You're stepping up to the big leagues.
I'm drinking. Of
Salud.
course, I'm drinking good fucking wine with my good fucking wine t-shirt on.
Salute.
So, Steve, you had a question around freestyle that you wanted to ask him, and you want to take it back a little. His a little bit of history of Tommy.
So, you listen to freestyle. I listen to freestyle. Are there any other genres besides freestyle and hair bands that you go towards, or no?
Yes, I absolutely love the standards. Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Bobby Darin. I love doo-wop, Johnny Maestro and the Brooklyn Bridge, the Cadillacs. Lenny Coco and the Chimes. I absolutely love doo-wop. You know, growing up the way that I did with all my Italian cousins and family, I had no other choice but to grow up and listen to Sinatra before I ever even heard of any other music on the radio. So Sinatra is very big to me. Dean Martin, like I said, Bobby Darin, and doo-wop. Doo-wop, I absolutely love doo-wop.
So in the early 2000s, you found yourself being a bodyguard. Can you tell us a
Yes.
little bit about that?
Well, I was living in Florida at the time, and over there, I went to a club. It's a funny story. I went to a club. Actually, I went to a pool hall that had a big back room that opened up into a club. But in the front of the place, the pool hall, you were allowed to wear tank tops. Here I am in Florida at a pool hall when it's 90 degrees in a tank top. Now it came 11 o'clock. I wanted to go into the back where the club was, and they said, sorry, no tank tops allowed. So I was like, then why didn't you tell me that at the front door when me and my 3 friends came here to come in? Sorry, no tank tops allowed. And they says, unless you want to buy a shirt that we have here. I'm like, no, it's okay. I go into the parking lot, and there's a guy handing out cards, and they were promoting a club that was right next door. He says, oh, and he heard the accents from me and my friends, come on in, come on in. And I was like, okay, let me go to the car and I'll be right in. He goes, you're gonna have to change your shirt first. No tank tops allowed. I says, are you freaking kidding me? I said 2 clubs and I can't even get into any of them. I says, why would you invite me to a club when you see me in a tank top and now tell me I can't get in? So the guy says, I like your attitude. He says, let me ask you a question. Now, before I became fat, I was actually very muscular back in the days. And he says, one of our guys didn't show up tonight for work. You want to make some extra dollars, get your friends into the club for free and work the front door and check IDs? We have a big security shirt for you. And I ended up saying, how much does it pay? And he says, it's $15 an hour. I says, no, that's no good. I need $25 an hour based on the 5 hours, and I'll do it. And I want my friends to get in for free and drink for free. Absolutely, come on in. I ended up, by the end of the night, breaking up a fight, saving the money at the front door. The guy absolutely fell in love with me. That guy happened to be Danny Green Eyes. That guy was a big Jamaican party promoter that was with Power 96, which was down in Florida. He ended up at the end of that night asking me if I would like to be partners with him with his sound and security business, because his brother Alex was the big promoter of Jamaican reggae and what's the other reggaeton music. And before you know it, I found myself owning my own bodyguard and security business. And it was just unbelievable. And with that whole entire thing down there in Florida, Danny and Alex's mom and dad were good friends with Beyonce's mom and dad. Their last name is Noel, you know? So I did a big gig over in the Miami auditorium, the big Miami arena where the Miami Heat play. And I ended up bodyguarding Beyonce and Kelly Rowland over in Miami. And that was back in 2000. That was back in 2000. And that was, you know, when they were just Destiny's Child. And it was absolutely amazing. And then from there, through those guys, I had Foxy Brown, I had Lauryn Hill. And before you know it, I was just around all these musical talents that were just unbelievable. I was around LS1, which was the DJ on one of DMX's albums, on one of Eve's albums. I became very good friends with Prince Marky D from the Fat Boys, which I know that you guys remember back in the day. There was Run DMC, the Fat Boys, and those guys just in the 80s ran rapid with the rap music back then. So when I was in Florida, I lived a couple of years over there with these guys, just having a great time amongst music and amongst musical royalty. Sean Paul, actually, you know who Sean Paul is, Steve and Jimmy. Now that the guy Alex that I'm talking about, his son's godfather was Sean Paul. So I was around Sean Paul a lot. So living in Florida was very fun for me. It wasn't even like I was working. They say when you like what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And so far, it's still going on.
So if there was,
From Florida to New York.
so if there was one person that you bodyguard for that was the most off for you, which one would that be?
The most what?
Like the most like starstruck that you've gotten.
Starstruck. Wow. I don't know about starstruck because I've really never gotten what you would say starstruck, but I was over the top when I was around Beyonce, and I was very over the top in 2003 when I was around Carmen Electra. Carmen Electra is absolutely, absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And a very sweet person. I was bodyguarding her at when Baywatch just came out with like a reunion show, and she was on the front cover of Playboy. She was at a memorabilia store signing autographs on the front of the Playboy magazines, on the front of the reddish orange Baywatch bathing suits, and taking pictures with people. So I was with Carmen Electra for a couple of hours, and I would have to say she was like one of the most beautifulest girls that I've ever been around.
Wow, I bet. Wow.
Besides for my mother.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. I was waiting for you to say something. At this point, I want to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about movies and TV. So, commercial-wise, once again, I would like to thank our sponsors of this show, Frontline Cigars, which our guest host tonight, Steve. Frontline Cigars is always on the front line of flavor, innovation, and giving back to those who serve. As a first responder-owned company based in the Chicago area, Frontline Cigars strives to give back to those that serve, whether it be first responders or military, through numerous charitable foundations. At frontlinecigars.com, you find a wide range of cigars from boutique to everyday brands, in addition to a fine selection of cigar accessories and swag. So when you're looking for a selection of boutique cigars, go check out www.frontlinecigars.com. Today's show is also brought to you by Tarazona Cigars. Tarazona Cigars, where passion is not just a word, it's a way of life. Tarazona premium handmade long leaf cigars are each rolled to the highest quality by masterful rollers. Each hand that touches the process takes pride in the quality and craftsmanship of every cigar that goes into every Tarazona box. So next time you're looking for a fine smoke, do it with passion and reach for Tarazona. You can check them out at www.tarazonacigars.com. I want to thank my sponsors. Without them, this show is not as easy to do. Okay, now, you do this bodyguard thing, you got the security gig, and somewhere around 2011, you develop into this TV show called Carfellas, and you also made a movie at the same time, same year, called Jesse. Which came first of all, Jesse or Carfellas?
Carfellas came first. What happened was when I was living in Florida, it was unbearable to live in Florida during the summer months. And I always came back to New York for the summer. You know, even though obviously it's humid and hot in New York, I'd rather be in New York with my friends, my family, and everything like that. And in Florida, you just constantly drip sweat all summer long. So I would come up here for July, August, September, and go back like the third week of October. I was hanging out by my friend Mikey D's car lot over in Amityville, Long Island, which at the time it was called Broadway Motors. And they had a used car lot for a couple of months at the time. And I guess because I'm always causing trouble and there's always like chaos around me, I'm on the lot while they're conducting business, smoking cigars and barbecuing outside. And before you know it, between me, Mike, and Mario, everybody was outside smoking cigars in between customers. And we were known as the guys that would smoke cigars and barbecue during the middle of his day, you know, selling cars. So when those guys were inside, I wouldn't even sometimes tell them that they had customers on the lot. I would take care of them. And I would have fun with people because at the time the cars were between 3,000 and 6,000, and people were asking questions as if they were buying a brand new car from Toyota and Nissan and Cadillac. Does it have this? Does that work? I'm like, guy, the car that you're looking at is $2,500. If you're looking for a new car, go up the freaking street to Toyota. Are you kidding me with breaking my balls over here? And somehow, some way, one of our friends that had something to do with a reality TV show that was on, what was on National Geographic. It was called Rebel Inc. It was a bunch of tattoo guys that used to save pit bulls. He was in the production business, and he ended up talking to a production company. They came down and they asked us, would you guys be interested in a reality show or trying to get on a reality show? And they ended up taping us for a week in like November. And this is going back in 2010. And they, what we call trailer, they call sizzle reel. They ended up shopping that sizzle reel around to a whole bunch of networks. There was about 5 networks that wanted us. We ended up going with Discovery Channel, knowing and thinking they were the biggest. And before you know it, they offered money. We took the deal, and we ended up with Carfellas. That aired in August of either 2011 or 2012. After we signed our contracts, it went on, and what happened was we were on for a good year, and halfway through our season, we realized that our show was being not only here in the States, but we started getting fans from Germany, England, Australia, all over the place. And we ended up telling our lawyer, hey, we didn't know that we were going to be on over in Europe and the United Kingdom and everywhere. You know, where's our money for that? And we ended up causing a little bit of waves with Discovery Channel, trying to get money from these other countries from Discovery. And they ended up wanted nothing to do with that. And they were like, guys, if you're going to keep on busting balls, we're going to cancel the show. And it ended up to be that we were canceled after 1 season, but which sucks because we already had money spent for the 3rd season that we never even got to. I was talking about Lamborghinis and Ferraris and big houses with Mike and Mario, and we just got out of the 1st season. So they ended up using our show when they needed fill in between other shows. So they had us on still for another 2 years. And then they put us, because they own 13 networks on cable TV. So they put us on Destination America, which they own. They put us on Discovery ID, which they own. And they put us on Velocity Channel, which is now Motor Trend TV. And they would put marathons of us all throughout different hours of the day. So even though we didn't have other seasons, we were still, our faces were on TV. People were still knowing the lot, coming down, buying cars. Before you know it, I ended up closing up my house up in Port St. Lucie, Florida, because that was the last town that I lived in Florida, and closed up the house, got rid of it, and came back to New York. And during that season, which I signed a contract with Discovery to only work with Discovery, I was asked to do a movie. And I, went under a different name in the movie by my 2 middle names, Anthony Savino, which are my 2 middle names. And that's what my name was in the credits. So I ended up doing Jesse. Jesse comes out. I ended up being a guest appearance because they knew me from Carfellas of Mama's Boys of the Bronx with those guys over in the Bronx. And then that's pretty much how my whole career started off, by just phone calls coming in saying, that guy's a character. We want him on our show. We want him in our movie. And, I don't have, the credentials of being an actor, because I'm not an actor. I think I suck as an actor, but I'm pretty good at being myself. So basically, they just let me go into the things, playing myself or being my own role. And ever since, things have just been doing good.
So in Jesse, I have a couple of things.
Sure.
So you kind of had these cameo appearances in these movies. And Jesse, there's a scene in Jesse uh, where you're smoking a cigar, and when you look at that, we've noticed that was
Oh God, I know exactly what you're gonna tell me.
it
Go
was an
ahead.
acid cigar.
It was what?
It was an acid. It was a Drew Estate acid you were smoking.
Yes, because part of being on set of a movie, it's stand around and wait. So the 4 cigars that I had from 7 o'clock in the morning were all smoked, and I had no more cigars. So I said, I need a cigar for my scene. And somebody gave me a Drew Estate acid, which I felt like a total idiot smoking this little tiny flavored pencil in my hand. And that was my first movie. And please don't judge me on that little cigar that I had in my hand in the first movie.
And the other
And thank you for noticing that too.
the cigar guys. The other movie that I really enjoyed actually was Laugh Killer Laugh. All right, that was I think a 2015 movie that you did.
2014, 2015.
Right, and in that movie you have a couple of scenes. You're in the beginning scene with the crew, but the scene that's really cool is near the end of the movie. I talked about this when we had a conversation the other day, but I think the audience needs to appreciate this. I actually did a giveaway today to see who knows where that came from. So you're
Right.
you're in a in a scene there where you're standing in a there's a gelato shop.
Italian cafe. Italian cafe. Yes.
And you got like a handful of boxes, right? And you come walking out and boom, you're the last one to get shot, right? And you fall back, and you may not say you're an actor, but I'll tell you what, that was an extremely convincing fall as those boxes go flying in the air. Talk about that, like you told us, how that came to be.
Well, that was pretty crazy because I can't believe that I actually worked with William Forsythe in that scene right there, because William Forsythe is a legend, a complete legend in the. Oh, you're putting that on. William Forsythe is a complete legend in the movie business, and he's been in over 150 movies. And to think that not only was I going to work with him and across from him, but I was going to be killed by him, I was elated. So what happened was I had a couple of boxes of cannolis in my hand, and the whole idea was that there were 2 sides of a store. The one side that was an operating Italian cafe, and the other door, which was darkened, was where they play cards and everything else goes on the other side. So William Forsythe was walking out the other door. From the darker door, I was walking out the cafe door. Simultaneously, when we both walked out the same doors, he looks over and sees me. I end up getting killed. And the question you asked me yesterday was, how many takes did it actually take to do that scene? And I said, believe it or not, you guys thought that it took many. It only took 1. And the reason why was because they never told me when I got shot that I was only supposed to drop to the floor. So from watching all these movies my whole entire life, I figured, wow, I got to make this dramatic. So I got shot, threw myself backwards into the framing of the glass door, hit the window, and came down and hit the little piece of cement that came out from the bottom holding the window. Not only was the director, the writer, the cameraman all stunned and shocked because they thought I broke my back. You heard them in the background going, oh no, oh my God. And I hit it hard and the whole window shook. And it ended up to be that once the scene was over, everybody came running over to me and was like, are you okay? And I popped right back up and I said, of course I am. I'm 300 pounds. I go, it takes more than a framing of a door and a brick to hurt me. So they're like, are you sure? Are you? I'm like, I'm good. Do we need to take another scene? They're like, there's going to be no scene better than this scene right here. And what was amazing was that after that was all said and done, William Forsythe actually pulled me over to the side and he told me, he says, I don't know how long you've been doing this. He goes, but you stole the scene. And I said, thank you so much, Mr. Forsythe. I go, that means a lot to you. And yeah, that's actually the second time I got killed in a movie. So I asked these directors, is it something that I said or something that I do? Why am I always getting killed in movies? But yeah, so that was my my kill scene for that. And yes, that was only one take. I had lots of fun with that. But
So-
I also, before you guys ask me another question, I want to thank Chris Carrillo and Evan from South Shore Cigar Club, because that's where we're filming from today. It's a brand new cigar lounge club over in Brightwaters, New York. It opened up 3 weeks ago. So not only are those two guys great, wonderful guys, but it's a very, very family-like atmosphere here. There's a whole bunch of people from different towns that come here that never knew each other before that end up coming here, talking, very good camaraderie. Everybody ends up talking to each other, having a great time, and we look forward to coming back again. It's a great cigar place to be at. It's brand new. It's called South Shore Cigar Club on North Windsor Avenue over in Brightwaters, New York, Long Island. So thank you to those guys. Hats off. And if anybody out there is watching this, please come down, mention that you saw the actual show that you're watching right now, and get 10% off your next cigar over at South Shore Cigar Club.
Salute.
Now, salute. I'll
Salute
drink
to that, guys. I'll do anything to drink some more good fucking wine.
So now you said that everybody came and checked up on you to see how you were okay. Now,
Yes.
the second important question is, did anybody go check to make sure the cannolis were still good to go?
I'm going to tell you guys a little inside cheat scene from that. Being that the boxes were closed, they weren't going to waste all those cannolis.
I know.
So what they did was they put old school plastic cigar, cigarette ashtrays in the boxes to give it a little bit of weight. So when the boxes went down, it looked like the weight of the cannolis pulled them down to the ground. You
So
think that I'm going to waste a good cannoli? You're out of your mind, Steve.
Well, it could have been a joint that you didn't care for, and you said, let's use these cannolis. So
No.
So like Jimmy said earlier, you were in a couple cameos in prior movies. Are there any specific movies or type of movies that you enjoyed today? And if so, what kind, and what is your personal favorite?
My personal well, first of all, I love action movies. I love anything to do with gangster movies that are fictional or non-fictional. I love documentaries on all of that history or historian stuff with the mob going all the way back to the early 1900s, all the way up to current. And just to let you know, up to current, I am in a weekly series called Gravesend, which is based on true life events from the mid 1980s up to 1986 that you could watch on Amazon Prime. But I would have to say my favorite movie is probably Goodfellas, A Bronx Tale, Casino. I love Denzel Washington as an actor. He's probably my favorite actor. And I loved American Gangster. And obviously, The Godfather.
So now, back to Gravesend. I've watched all 4 episodes.
That was season 1. It got cut down because of COVID-19.
Correct. Now, from my watching it, I only remember seeing you once. Were you in multiple?
I was in the very first episode.
Yes.
One scene, maybe a 35, 40-second scene. That was my introduction into the series.
Okay.
When we start filming, we got picked up for season 2. When we start filming again in the spring, my return will be like in episode 6 or 7 because I'm a soldier from a Bronx crew. And remember, this is all Brooklyn related.
Yeah.
So my character wouldn't be in every episode thing. You know what I'm saying? So I will be brought back, but the next time you see me will either be episode 6 or 7.
Yeah, I remember you coming into a room, and I believe it was William Demaio.
William Demaio is
Yes.
the writer,
Yes.
director, and main actor of Gravesend. Great guy, great friend, and very talented.
I believe that in the scene you had walked up to him and said, or somebody that you said to, so and so wants to see you, and that's what I remember about you in that episode.
Yes, it was for a sit down. I was sent from my boss to let Willie know that he was wanted by the captain of my crew for a sit down. And obviously, as I walked out of the place, I got eyeballed by every one of those guys at that table. And a lot of great characters, a lot of great actors in this particular series. Leo Rossi was sitting down at that table. Patrick Borriello was sitting down at that table.
And the majority of those guys that were in that movie also played in the movie John Gotti with John Travolta.
They did, absolutely. Which I supplied a lot of the cars actually for that particular movie. I was on set.
Very good movie.
Yes.
So I have a question from the audience.
Sure.
Brandon Smith would like to know, how many movies and TV shows have you been in?
Believe it or not knowing that this was going to end up being my career, I've got a nice little resume right now. I've been in Carfellas. I did cameos on Extra Virgin, which is a cooking show with Debbie Mazar and her husband. I was at a food stand with them. I was on Mama's Boys of the Bronx. I was on Discovery ID, which was a show called The Perfect Murder. I was in season 2, episode 3, called Ring of Fire, which was a mob-related thing also. Gravesend, which we just talked about. I got a movie, which is a documentary movie, like a docu-movie, called Cruising 86th Street, which will be coming out next year, which is also done by William Demaio, about one of the greatest cruise strips of all time, which was Brooklyn 86th Street under the L. And I'm actually, the car that I actually used to cruise 86th Street in back in the day, my 85 triple white Eldorado Brewers convertible, I still have till this day. So I got to go back and do the movie with the car that I actually cruised 86th Street in years ago, 25 years ago. And a lot of great people in that, Joseph D'Onofrio, Joe Corsi, John Travolta, which Willie made very, very good friends with from the Gotti movie, came back and did a cameo at Lenny's Pizza, the famous Lenny's Give Me 2 Slices, that whole thing from 1977 from Saturday Night Fever. So that will be coming out next year. And I was just in a movie that just got released this June, which I happen to have right here, called Gender Bender.
Oh.
And there's me on the back. I don't know if you, is there a glare? Can you see it?
It's a little glare, but I can see it. Yeah, I see what you're looking at.
There you go.
Okay. So Joey Cola, the comedian, is in this. You've got Richard Lampone, Lamar Cheston. You've got Eric Roberts, Gilbert Gottfried, and Sal Governale from the Howard Stern Show. And I have a huge talking part on this. And they said that I did very good, but I think I suck as an actor. But I had a lot of lines, more lines than I wanted. But I had a lot of lines. I had a beautiful co-host named Cynthia Montenegro that was in scene with me. And I had bodyguards that were in my scene. And the great Kevin Downey Jr., comedian, that was the person that I was having dialogue with during the shooting of Gender Bender. which my scene started at 11 o'clock p.m. and ended at 7 a.m. in the morning for something that's approximately 4 minutes. Gender bender. Amazon Prime, guys. If you like twisted, crazy, laugh out loud, maybe even pee in your pants comedy, it would be Gender Bender.
And it's coming out
You never
when?
know what you will. Oh, it came out this June.
On
Amazon
it's on
Prime.
Amazon Prime now?
On Amazon Prime right now.
I'm going to watch that tonight.
And the saying, and quote me on this one, be careful what you wish for.
Right.
So we all know you from Instagram, seeing you drive down New York with your Cadillacs. 3-part question. How many Cadillacs do you own?
Okay.
What's your favorite? And I want to know, what's up with the pink VW convertible?
Okay. So the answer to question number 1, I have 27 Cadillacs.
Wow.
Including my very first Cadillac that I ever had, which is my 1985 triple white Eldorado Barritz convertible. I got that when I was 19 years old. Got 27 in total, the oldest being in 1962 and all the way up. My favorite out of all my Cadillacs is that 85 Eldorado Barritz convertible. My second favorite would probably be my 1976 triple white Eldorado convertible, which actually only has 3,200 miles on it. And then the other ones just all have a place in my heart because I'm a big Cadillac fanatic and I just love driving my old school cars.
So where do you park these cars? In your driveway, in the neighbor's driveway? Do you own the street? Where do you put 27 Cadillacs?
Well, at my house now, it's dwindling away because over the summer I had 12 to 13 caddies at my house. Now I actually found storage because I would only put the cars in storage in the winter because I was driving them so readily in the summer. But I've got 2 storage warehouses here in Long Island that I've got 4 at one, 8 at another. I've got 2 of my caddies at my friend's house. I got 1 somewhere else at another friend's house. I've got 1 car in Florida, and oh wow, and I still have about 6 or 8 of them at my house. So it's pretty crazy because next week I actually and I have a limousine, guys, that I got that's going to be wrapped with my Instagram page, my Facebook page, and my face, and Asylum 13 cigars and good fucking wine. And it's just going to be an amazing limousine. And I also want to make a shout out to Lee Adams. Thank you very much. He sent me a set of 17-inch Vogue tires, the white wall with the red stripe, which is a limited edition tire for my limousine. So big shout out to Lee Adams. You're going to see the limousine very soon. South Shore Cigar Club is the sponsor of my limousine. So their logo is going to be on my back bumper with all their information, where to follow me. And I will be bringing that limousine to events that'll be parked outside of whatever wine events that I'm doing, whatever cigar events that I'm doing. And people are going to be taking pictures with the limo and posting it on all social media sites.
So your white Cadillac that you drive around OS for life, you have a box in the back. Are those 12s, 14s? What size?
All my stereos that I do in my cars are all 12-inch subwoofers.
Okay.
I feel that the 10-inch subwoofers are too small, and I have a very, very tight, too much of a tight punch. 15s, which are great, they have too much of a reverb, and I'll have too much of a boom afterwards. 12 is a perfect punch that I'm looking for with my freestyle music.
It doesn't rattle the trunk as much.
Well, my trunks do have Dynamat in them, and I do put a little bit of a sponge behind my license plate frame and my license plate because there's a lot of air being pushed back there because I have really good subwoofers. I go with JL Audio. I go with Kicker Competition, and I also go with Serwin Vega. And I always get the biggest wattage, heaviest magnet subwoofers, and the biggest amp that I could go with to power 12-inch subwoofers. So I'll have 2,400 total watts, but I'll end up pushing out of there 1,200 RMS, which is continuous watts. And then I do all the speakers inside the car with a different amp. So my stereo system, believe it or not, you'll be able to hear from, I'd say, at least a block away. Crystal clear clarity.
Now, we're not going to dodge the question. What's with the pink VW?
The pink VW is something that I was debating on buying because, believe it or not, for some crazy reason, I've always loved Volkswagen Bugs. Ever since growing up with Herbie and the Love Bug, I've always loved VW Bugs. I like things that are different. And I, am a big manly man. I'm very macho, I think, in my head. But for whatever reason, I love the color pink. And not my favorite color, but I do love the color pink. And I think that this pink VW Bug that I was driving was something that was very noticeable driving down the street. And it ended up to be that it was a friend of mine, Ryan, that was selling it. And that day that I made that video, I was on a test drive with the car. I was supposed to go around the block. I was gone for about 45 minutes, driving through Babylon, Lindenhurst, Copeg, all over the place, stereo blasting, top down, singing music, making videos. And I brought the car back and I told him that, call me tomorrow. And in the meantime, what happened was somebody saw me in that pink Volkswagen Bug and told me that they had a pink Eldorado for sale. And I ended up buying a 1985 pink Eldorado with originally 24,000 documented miles on it. So I have an 85 pink with a white leather interior with a white roof, 85 Eldorado, which it's absolutely beautiful, 24,000 miles. So I never got that VW, but I did get a pink Eldorado.
Awesome.
That is a pretty amazing story. 27 Cadillacs is a lot of cars for anybody. We're going to go do a quick little lightning round here for a moment.
Oh boy, here comes the lightning round.
All right.
Here comes the lightning round.
The first question I have for you, and I'm going to give you my answer first on this question, and then you tell me. The best Long Island pizza, not Brooklyn, not Queens, the best Long Island pizza, I say, is Umberto's in New Hyde Park.
Not that I disagree with that, but Umberto's New Hyde Park, their Sicilian is better than their regular.
Yes.
My favorite pizza on Long Island, and I'm probably going to get a lot of shit from a lot of people, but it's Ancona Pizza out in Valley Stream on Rockaway. That's my I have 5, my top 5, but you asked me for my number 1. That's my favorite pizza on Long Island.
Okay. The next one, best cannolis.
And
the question is, when you talk cannolis, do you want chocolate chips or do you want pistachio?
My favorite cannoli on Long Island is at Villa Bella on Little East Neck Road. Hands down, I don't even need to think twice about that. And no, I don't want chocolate chips in my cannoli because that's an American thing. I want the dried fruit on the end or the pistachio because that's a true Sicilian cannoli. And if anybody knows about the cannoli, the Sicilians are the ones that came with the cannoli cream or the cassata cream. So that's my favorite cannoli on Long Island.
So the next question, and this is an age-old question that we tend to debate a lot.
Okay.
Is it sauce or is it gravy?
It's absolutely 1000% sauce and
Yes.
not gravy.
Yes.
Gravy is brown and belongs on meatloaf, on turkey, on meat, not on pasta. It's
Okay.
sauce. Sauce is made with tomatoes. I think
All
that
right.
most of the people that go with gravy is because they grew up in a household, maybe hearing their parents or their grandparents saying gravy. So we can't fault them for being wrong, but it is sauce.
So you heard it here tonight. Absolutely, Tommy Romola will solve that problem for us. It is sauce. No more.
Yes.
I ain't talking about it no more. All right. Question. What did it feel like when your cousin Sal, is he there with you now?
Sal's not here with me right now. Sal is in Florida currently right now. He got an apartment over there or a condo over in North Miami. And Sal is working on new material for an album coming out, a new album with new songs on it. So that's where he currently is now in Florida. And so the question is, how did I feel when he got that golden buzzer by Heidi Klum?
Yes.
I'm going to tell you exactly the same thing that I told Sal. I've had a lot of amazing, amazing things that have happened to me in my life. If for whatever reason, I was taken right now, I lived a life of 100 people 100 times over. And I am totally, totally amazed and humbled of the things that I've seen and had happened to me and have been a part of in my entire life. And I told Sal, him getting that golden buzzer on stage and me being able to share that experience with him and me being right there to be able to run out and to give him a hug and congratulate him, besides for the audience congratulating him, but for his first friend, family member, person that was with him to congratulate him was in my top 3 of the most amazing events that have ever happened to me in my life. That you have no idea the emotion, the electric, and the energy that it was when all of a sudden Heidi Klum smashed down that golden buzzer and it was a golden shower. It was unbelievable. And I didn't even think twice of standing up and running out there when I was sitting on the side with Nick Cannon. I just jumped up and ran out there. And by the time that we did like a half a 360, I ended up looking over his shoulder and going, oh my God, there's 3,000 people staring at me. Not even realizing that I was on the biggest stage in the entire world with 11 million people at home watching. It was just an amazing, amazing thing.
And for those that might have been living under a rock while we're talking about this, Tommy's cousin is Sal Valentinetti.
Other voice
On
Valentinetti.
America's Got Talent in 2016. And for those who watched America's Got Talent, he was the young Italian crooner that his first words out of his mouth, the first lyrics, melted you like butter. It was, you just sat back and you were like, wow, this
absolutely blown away.
He said that he was there to win. I'm here.
He was there to win.
That's good.
Imagine that. Imagine that. 20 years old. 20 years old. He took command of that whole entire stage, and he had Simon, Heidi, Mel B, and Howie just sitting there with their mouth open, their eyes as wide as a deer in headlights, and 3,000 people in the Dolby Theater just hanging on every single word in his song. And obviously he sang My Way, which is probably one of the greatest songs ever written and sang.
Absolutely.
Like Mel B said, it was flawless, absolutely flawless. He took command of that stage. It was absolutely flawless.
And I want to tell you, Steve, you're right about her exact words, but it was much sexier coming from Mel B with that English accent than
Absolutely.
listening to you say that right now.
Okay,
I
a
don't-
couple
I
of
don't-
questions from the audience. Okay, we got audience questions. Brian Caligallo, I'm gonna botch that up. Okay. I apologize, Brian. Brian Calangallo. Favorite thing, acting or being an entrepreneur?
I would say being an entrepreneur is my favorite thing. My favorite thing. I'm just very happy that people call me for movie roles, for different things that are in the world of film, meaning movies, documentaries, cameos on different shows. Which again, I didn't tell you when you asked me before the different movies. I was also on Send No Flowers with Tony LoBianco. I ended up getting killed in that movie also with my friend Gaetano LaJudas that was next to me, aka Tommy Salami, that's his street name. And his brother was Frank Carbone that actually got hung in the big 18-wheeler in Goodfellas.
Yep.
Ah, yeah.
He was sitting right next to me when we got killed in Send No Flowers. I was in My Father, My Don. And I've got some other stuff that's going to be coming out soon also. So, excuse me, not coming out soon, but getting ready to be taped and filmed soon. I would like to introduce you guys to Chris Carrillo, the owner of South Shore Cigar Club.
Sure. Bring
Chris,
him on over.
come say hello to my friends.
Hello, everyone. How you guys doing?
This
Chris,
is Chris
how are
Carrillo,
you?
South Shore Cigar Club. This is Steve. This is Jimmy, Boston Jimmy. And then Steve is on the other screen.
How you guys doing? Nice to meet you guys.
Good. How are you?
Good.
I've been
Living the dream.
I've been chatting with somebody on Instagram, going back and forth. Was
That's
that you?
me, my friend. That's me. Absolutely.
So this is the owner of South Shore Cigar Club. Great place. That's where we're at live from right now. I want to thank you very much for letting me do this here. And great place. Best of luck. Congratulations. I absolutely love it here. I made a home over
Next
here.
time, salute. Let's do a salute on that.
Salute.
You could pass
Salute.
the bottle.
Cheers. Thank you very much, guys. We appreciate everybody. Thank you for involving us and giving us the opportunity to be exposed to your platforms. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Next
Good
time
luck.
I'm up in New York, which will probably be later next year, hopefully, I will make sure it's my business to come visit you, and we'll do a complete review of your lounge.
Oh, thank you so much. That'd be wonderful. And
That'd
don't
be
worry,
amazing.
me and you were good. I'm a Met fan, so
So was my parents before they passed away. God bless their souls.
the rest of the soul.
Yes. So awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Luck with it all.
Have a good one, guys.
You too.
Next time.
So another question we had was, actually two people asked a similar question. Shirtless Mike Holmes, one of our friends, says, how did you blow up on Instagram so quickly? And number two, part of that question is Jameel Jackson, another friend of ours, says, how does Instagram fame feel?
Well, what's pretty wild about this whole run on Instagram is that I started Instagram in April of 2016. And that was literally a month or two before I ended up going to California with Sal for the whole America's Got Talent. So from the people that I had on Carfellas and Jesse and those little things like that, going on America's Got Talent with Sal, I got myself up to 70, 80,000 followers, which they had said to me, that's very amazing that you did this in such a short time.
Yeah.
Then I started doing, little videos here and there, little, not really knowing how to work Instagram very much because I'm the worst person when it comes to anything social media wise. I just was getting the grasp of Facebook before I got on Instagram. And before you know it, I made a video. It was on a Friday with my very good friend Vinny Dice. That was over at Chow Baby over in Long Island, New York. And he was setting up for a night that he was DJing over there. So he was going through sound check. So I was outside just playing around with my phone. I had my Cadillac in the background, and I just turned it on, and I says, this is how I get down on a Friday. And then Cadillac in the background, going to see my friend, sound check, freestyle music, Judy Torres, that was being played in the background. And I said something to the effect of, now that's old school, bring old school back again. OS for life, take it easy. And before you know it, it was just a regular video on my page, you know, doing what it did. But then about a month and a half, 2 months later, somebody that was a fan of mine took it and brought it over to Twitter. I didn't have Twitter. I wake up one morning, turn my phone on, and my friend Mikey D from Hollywood Motors, 829 Sunrise Highway, West Babylon, all your classic car needs. He calls me up and he goes, bro, you have any idea what's going on right now? And I says, yeah, I'm about to eat breakfast. He says, no. He goes, you're going viral on Twitter. I said, that's impossible. He says, I'm looking at it right now. I said, that's impossible. He goes, why? I said, because I'm not on Twitter. He says, listen, FaceTime me right now. And he showed me Twitter. The numbers were going over like a reel. 600,000, 700,000, 800, a million, boom, viral. And then it went all the way up to 5.5 million. I'm like, oh my God. And it was a guy named Mike Jones FL. Some guy from my Instagram page that happens to be on Twitter also put my video on Twitter. Somehow somebody shared it, which was, I guess, I don't know, somebody that may have had the blue dot that was famous that it got out to whoever it got out to. 5.5 million hits later, I'm now a viral sensation. David Portnoy over at Barstool Sports took the video over to Barstool Sports. It went viral with 2.5 million. Then they took another video of mine within 24 hours and put it on Barstool Sports, which from my looking at Barstool, they usually don't take 2 videos of the same person and put them up. From what I heard, they pick videos that people are sent to, they find and they post. But they put 2 videos up of mine within 24 hours. That other video went viral also with over 1.3 million. And at that time, the followers just started going up. My numbers on my videos were going up. People were telling me what they want. I started making videos. I did a couple more videos with Vinny. I did videos on my own. And before you know it, Showtime with Jesus and Mero must have saw what was trending for the week or for the month. And I get a phone call from Showtime saying Jesus and Mero, the #1 late night cable TV talk show, are your biggest fans. And they would like to, you know, put your videos on Jesus and Mero. Can you got, you know, they already put my stuff up, but then Showtime says, we would like you to make a birthday shout out to Jesus and to one to Mero, the 3 or 4 days apart. At the time, Jesus and Mero new episodes were on Mondays and Thursdays. So Jesus's birthday was on Wednesday and Mero's birthday was on Saturday. So what I did was I made the video saying happy belated birthday and then happy birthday. My thought process was, Vinny, DJ in front of your house, get the turntables out and bring them to the driveway, and let's make a video and send it in. We sent it in. They played it on Jesus and Mero. And all of a sudden, I started getting fans from Jesus and Mero, which were incredible. They call up about a couple days later and says, we'd like you to come up to the Showtime studios and meet the guys. Vinny, want to go meet Jesus and Mero at Showtime? Brought Vinny up to Jesus and Mero. We hit it off with them. They said, we'd like to come out to Long Island and film in your neck of the woods. They came out to Long Island. They came out and they did what we do during the day, which is sit out on lawn chairs in Vinny's driveway, tanning, listen to old school music, smoking cigars. And we did a whole big, excuse me, a whole big filming day of about maybe 6 hours for like an 11-minute clip on Jesus and Mero. And it was just absolutely great. From there, I ended up getting an agent. Then I get a phone call from my agent, which is Generations Beyond over in Ronkonkoma. And my agent says to me, hey, do you want to be on Fox News? And I says, wow, what time do I have to wake up? That's early in the morning, right? Because I'm thinking Channel 5, the regular Fox News. They meant Fox News, the 24-hour Fox News. And they're like, no, the 24-hour Fox News. I'm like, well, what would I be doing? You'll be on a show called Waters World. I said, oh, no. I don't like fishing. I don't fish. They're like, no. The guy's name is Waters, Jesse Waters. He has a show called Waters World. So I says, why am I going to be on that show? They said, because he said he's one of your biggest fans. They said he's got a very big show. He's got about 3 to 4 million viewers on a Saturday night when he does his new episodes. He ended up putting, I go up there and he puts me on. The night that I'm supposed to air is a Saturday night coming up a couple of days later at 8 o'clock. There was a blackout in Manhattan at 8 o'clock. The whole entire city was out. So they ended up playing the rerun of that at 12 midnight. So only half the viewers got to watch it. But those viewers ended up saying, I saw you on Waters World. Then they brought it back the next week and they aired it in full. That was an amazing thing, because I found out how hard it is to actually get onto Waters World, no less to get on Fox News. He asked me if I would come back and debate and this, that, and the other thing. And I told him I'm not political. I says, I am running for president of the United States, though. And he asked me what party I was with. And I told him the old school party, not Republican, not Democrat, but I formed my own party, the old school party. So later on in that year, he had the best of, and he actually came back on a new episode and said one of his favorite interviews of the year was Big Time Tommy. So I was, again, very humbled and very happy to be part of that whole thing.
Salute.
Salute.
And salute again. Thank you very much, guys.
So I bought a bottle.
Just to let you know, guys, I've got absolutely nothing more in my full bottle. And if I fall off this chair right now, I hope somebody here picks me up.
I haven't opened a bottle. I haven't bought a bottle in 10 years. I'm not a big wine guy.
Okay.
Okay. You saw me open the bottle prior to the show. I'm done.
Really?
You know why I'm done?
Why are you done?
This pairs well, if not more than well, great with a cigar. So for all you cigar smokers out there, good fucking wine and a cigar, it's like a match made in heaven, Tommy.
I
No
love
joke.
that.
No
I
joke.
love that.
No
And-
joke.
And all the credit goes to Scott over at Good Fucking Wines. Scott is the one that picked the blend of Good Fucking Wine. He is the big owner of Good Fucking Wine. So hats off, bottles open, and big ups to Scott over at Good Fucking Wine.
Yeah, I talked to him on, he emailed me Seems like a great guy.
A very, very great guy.
If he's watching today, Scott, Steve, salute.
Yes.
All right,
I'm
so
sure Scott is watching right now.
at this point, we're beyond the hour, but we got to do one thing, and we'll come to a last couple of questions if you got a little bit of
Absolutely.
time. At this stage of my program, I always do what's new in news and Stogie Press and
Okay.
news for the week. So let me just share this. So we did a few reviews this week. I took a look at the Tatawahi Cigars Carrillo, which is part of their Monster series. This is the
Okay.
one that they came out with. We gave this one a 92. Beautiful reddish brown wrapper, as you can see. Fantastic profile, very complex, butter, cedar, charred oak, had all kinds of really, really nice transitions through it. The burn on this, if you want to actually see the trailer of Frankenstein, I have it there too. This is an Ecuadorian Sumatra with a Nicaraguan binder and filler. The background of this, you should know, is that it originally was a Boris 11 that Corona Cigar Company had. He cut a deal with Jeff from Corona to allow him to use the name Boris, so long as he created a limited release called the Little Boris, which he did, and then he came out with the Carlo, which is a tweaked version of that original Boris. Only 52,000 cigars were in production of this. You can see
Oh, wow.
this is just got a closed foot. The burn on this is decent. Had a little bit of an off burn on it right here. Little kind of offsetted burn cone. The ash started carrying well. Took it down to the nub. I enjoyed this cigar. Definitely consistent across multiple samples. We gave this one a 92. Another one we looked at this week was the Prochardo Maduro 6.5 by 50 box press. This is a collaboration. This is a work between both Ace Prime, who is related to the Prochardo world, and Crowned Heads. We gave this one a 90. Basically on this one, it's an Arapiraca Brazilian wrapper with a Nicaraguan binder and filler. This is some that I actually purchased from Ambassador Cigars and Spirits in Troy. This is part of my mission I've been doing all through 2020 to spread some money around to help keep the lights on at different shops around the country that I like. And it's a nice, it's a nice crisp box press, nice fill. It was very solid in the hand. Decent burn, a little bit of burn off burn here. Continued through, looked very nice. Had a nice profile. It wasn't as complex, but I will say I got a couple of interesting notes in this one. The first one is something that I could only describe as buttered cornbread, which is kind of what my mother made, these cornbread muffins for breakfast. And we put the butter on it. Oh, you get those good New York cornbread muffins in the delis, and you put that melted butter on it. That's what that first light gave me. And I also had this really interesting cream note that wrapped around that early fruit that I could only describe as a cruzata de fruta. Okay, I remember this from my family. This is just a delicious note that came in. Had some lot of fruitiness to it and some spice. We gave it a 90. It did have an ash that fold quite often, and it was flaky at first third. But overall, very nice cigar. Lastly, we also looked at the new Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust Sobremesa Brulee Brûlée. This is the extension of their Brulee line. This one, spectacular cigar. Gave this one a 93. This one actually had some really interesting notes also. It's an Ecuadorian Connecticut. It's a high grade shade wrapper. It's got a Mexican San Andreas Negro binder and a Nicaraguan filler. And this one was giving me notes of almond, barbecue. It had a slight bitterness to it, but that's that Connecticut sometimes does that. A burnt honey note that came in, which is something I really like in a cigar because you get that honey note. It just kind of lets that palate, starts exciting the palate to what's to come. It had cedar, cocoa, some natural sweetness, toasted caramel notes. Really, really nice cigar. coming through the burn on this. Yeah, I should point out too, the blend seems to be the same as the original Brulee, but one thing that Steve Saka will tell you, it's all in the formula of how and where you place that leaf. So even though you look at this blend and compare it to the Brulee, it's the same blend by leaf, but it's where it goes. So everybody understand that you could move leaves around in a cigar and make dramatic changes in how they taste and how they transition. Nice pigtail cap on it. Beautiful burn, beautiful, absolutely gorgeous burn on this. All right. I do take a point off because there's a little extra pointy cone here. It should be a little subdued, but that's my rating system. Come down, beautiful cigar.
Pretty good, right?
Get bonus points. He had a really nice oiling above the burn line for a Connecticut. That's pretty phenomenal. And a nice, excellent ash. From news, a few things in the news that we had this week. We just recently post-produced the episode 34 with Trey Leone Cigars. So that's now out on the YouTube, Stogie Press YouTube channel. So you can go, the link is in this article. You can go there if you haven't seen that one. Hoya de Nicaragua and Cigar Dojo announced the Hoya Ninjaragua. Okay, so this is a new cigar coming out in a collaboration between these two. Fratello Cigars announced a new limited edition humidor, and I'll just open this up for a second. Beautiful humidor that they're selling. They didn't put a price on this yet. They're going to come out with it shortly, but a really nice humidor, and it comes with the price will include 40 cigars of their most popular blends.
Oh, wow.
Okay? So that's a really nice introduction from Fratello. And Drew Estate announced that they've started shipping the Undercrown limited editions nationwide on their, especially the Shady XX and the Dojo Dogma Maduros are now shipping to retailers. And lastly, Casa Cuevas Cigars announced that they have expanded now into the United Kingdom. So if you're over there in Europe and you're watching the show tomorrow on a repeat, you'll know that you can start to get these fabulous Casa Cuevas cigars now in the United Kingdom. That's the news and reviews in Stogie Press.
I would like to let you guys know that when I'm here in Long Island, here I am over at South Shore Cigar Club. But down, one of my dearest friends, his name is Vince, and he's in Delray Beach, Florida, on 5th Street, literally 1 minute from the very popular Atlantic Avenue over in Delray Beach. He has a cigar lounge over there named the Smoke Inn. It's called Smoke Inn in Delray Beach. His name is Vince. He is the chief operating officer, which means he's the owner. Very dear friend of mine. And we are going to have a huge launch party. You hear the train going by, guys?
Yeah.
We have a huge launch party for the Asylum 13 Big Time Tommy edition. Now, something I was taught, there's a difference between a limited edition and a special edition. Limited edition means there's only so many cigars made until they're sold out. This is not a limited edition. This is a special edition. So these cigars will be out for as long as people want to smoke them. And when I tell you, if you guys are into big ring gauge cigars, and even if you're not, try this cigar. You're absolutely going to be knocked on your ass because it's a great cigar.
Definitely keep me in the loop on that. I have to make a correction on a statement I made earlier. I have to apologize to CLE. My bad. JRE cigars. JRE, okay, that warehouse got broken into and wiped out this past.
So now that banner that you have with your cigar on it,
Yes.
is that available to the consumer or is that available only to you?
These actually will be made, and these will be on my website to be sold and to be signed. They're on correlated plastic, so they're, believe it or not, I don't know if you guys can tell, This is 24 inches. It's a 2-foot cigar, and it's pretty wild. The cigar companies will have these, you know, in their store as part of the promotion, along with the posters, but they are going to be making these up, and I will be signing these, and whatever their price will be to sell them to the consumer. But what's wild about the cigar box that my cigars are going to be coming in, it's a box of 30. You see what the cigar is going to look like itself, but the outside of the cigar box will actually have a picture of me burnt into the top of the cigar box with Big Time Tommy. And I will be signing boxes and doing meet and greets and shows. And I will be at the Big Vegas show, the big cigar convention over in Vegas. I will be at your guys' big cigar show over in Chicago, because you guys have a very, very big cigar show over there as well.
So I have 2 more questions before we kind of close this out.
Damn, Jimmy, you ask a lot of questions.
Usually these questions can get answered very quickly, but you've been a very good host and really took control of what you need.
You have been a very good host, my friend. Boston Jimmy with an IE in the house.
So we talked a lot about this question all the way through here. So I had it on my list. What's next for Big Time Tommy? So we talked a lot. Anything that we haven't talked about that we need to know about?
You know, every day I wake up is a blessed day. There are things that I'm going to be doing after the first of the year. I know that I'm going to be finding some way of getting to Arizona, because I don't like staying in a plane for 5 or 6 hours at a clip. They don't let me open up the windows to get fresh air. So I'm going to be going to Arizona for another movie, a drug cartel movie, along with Willie Demaio, the great boxer, Paulie Malignaggi, Joe D'Onofrio, and some other guys. I heard that Antonio Sabato Jr. is going to be in the movie also, another great Italian actor. So that's going to be coming up. I did a cameo on a series called Paper Empire with Wesley Snipes and with Robert Davi, which is just a great actor, a great singer, and Denise Richards. If you guys know Denise Richards from Wild Things, she's absolutely beautiful, very sweet girl. And so I have things coming up. I don't like to, I'd say, put my cart before the horse, or eggs in a basket, or whatever it is. I wait till it gets, before I already know that this is going to be, because we're in production right now. But for anything else, I wait till it gets closer before. But things happen to pop up without even me knowing. And I'm just very, very grateful and humbled to the people that are looking for me to be with them for certain things. And thank you very much to all these people.
Awesome. So you mentioned something in that soliloquy that was a perfect segue. You talked about boxing. Last question: who wins the Tyson fight?
I hope to God Mike Tyson. I've been a fan of his ever since I was young, ever since he won the world championship at 19 years old in 1985, which I had that Sports Illustrated with him signed on it. So hopefully that Tyson definitely takes the fight. I think he looks great at 53 years old. I'm so glad that he got himself back into shape. That's a little bit of motivation for me to get back into shape. And I actually was just on my Instagram a little while ago and saw that Mario Lopez is supposed to be hosting that fight tonight. Mario Lopez is a dear friend of mine over in Los Angeles. So big shout out to Mario Lopez and the whole Lopez family. Saved by the Bell. Saved by the Bell. The reboot of Saved by the Bell, all brand new episodes just came back on Peacock, being streamed just literally yesterday, the 25th, 2 days ago. So all brand new episodes of Saved by the Bell. And Mario Lopez is playing AC Slater. He's a gym teacher in it. And yeah, so it's great. And I'm looking forward to actually seeing Mario Lopez this week in Manhattan. You know, he gave me a text a little while ago, about he's going to be here for a week. He'd like to meet up. So hopefully we could send some pictures to the gram and let you guys see me and Mario Lopez maybe smoking a cigar and hanging out, drinking some good fucking wine.
There we go. So, Tommy, I really appreciate you taking the time to be on the show. It has been spectacular. There's still a lot of people watching, which is really good. They stay.
Thank you for having me on your show. This is the very first cigar podcast I've ever done. I look forward to maybe you getting me back on once I have the actual box in my hand, and you guys will be enjoying some Big Time Tommy cigars by Asylum 13.
Well, I would hope that when you do the rollout, the big rollout, depending on where we are with everything, I might make a trip down there for that.
That would be great. That would be great.
But I want to thank all my sponsors, especially Steve from Frontline for coming on today and co-hosting with me. You're awesome, Steve. You did a great job.
Thank you.
I want to thank all my viewers and all my followers.
Thank you to all of our first responders that are out there that are keeping the streets safe, the hospitals moving and getting people well, and all first responders that are out there. Thank you to all of you and your service. And thank you for guys. You guys are the true heroes.
Thank you. Thank you.
And everybody have a terrific holiday season. Tommy, we'll be in touch for sure.
If you guys want to order good fucking wine, we have good fucking wine boxes that you will be getting with your wine. Go on goodfuckingwines.com. You'll have good fucking, this is the birthday box. We've got doubles and singles, and we've got good fucking holiday boxes. So if you guys want to order your good fucking wine to drink during Christmas, New Year's, there's boxes for all occasions. The wine is great. And guys, Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa.
Tommy,
Happy New Year.
Tommy, I finished the bottle and Belle's gonna kill me. She said, don't get drunk tonight. I'm not drunk, but I finished the bottle. So salute.
I've got nothing more in here either, my friend. Salute.
There we go. Done. We took it to the nub. We finished the bottle. Thank you.
Take it easy.
This is Boston Jimmy out. Stogie Press. Peace.
OS
You
for
get the last
life.
word, Tommy. Last word.
Take it easy. Take it
Take
easy.
it easy.
Take it easy.
Thank you.